Today is an exciting day, a day to keep you on your feet. Grab your popcorn, grab your mouse, grab your keyboards and G Fuel, and let's get pumped up for day 3 of Game Changers Academy, where we'll be seeing the finals go down. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Valorant Game Changers Academy September edition, presented to you by Verizon and sponsored by AIM Labs. I am your host, Saki, also known as React Tang, and I am joined here by the two lovely casters on the desk, Epitomes, who was here yesterday, and the Gomping Gompers. How are you doing today, Gompers? I saw that, and you had that shrimp fried rice and chicken. It kind of looked good. I wish you shared a little bit with me just because I'm so ready to keep myself on my chair and watch all these tournaments go down. But speaking of these tournaments, let's go ahead and talk about the team formats here. We're going into semifinals and grand finals for the best of three. And what is best of three, you may ask? Teams will play it out with 3 maps total. If one team wins the first map and then another team wins the second map, then they will go into deciders. But if one team wins 2 maps in a row, then that's that for that team. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and see what we have for today. Epitomes, do you mind kicking us off and seeing what we have?
So we see that we are now in the semifinals. Tactical Throwers and Dart Monkeys is going to be the match that we are covering on stream, but yesterday we did follow Solaire versus Skill Issue, and then ending in a 2-1 against NMG Celeste to get themselves into the semis against Revivals, which will be happening off stream, but the winner of that will go against the winner of our current matchup, Tactical Throwers and Dart Monkeys.
And this is a map and match that I am super excited to watch just because of how much Dart Monkeys has made a name for themselves. As long as tactical throwers are able to throw out any types of abilities and new strats out there, maybe they can catch Dart Monkeys off guard. But going into this, Solaire versus Revival, they are in the upper brackets, and tactical throwers versus Dart Monkeys coming from the lower brackets, which is super surprising. But I'm excited to see the storyline here. If Dart Monkeys were to go up against Solaire, it would be one of the biggest matches to watch. But then if Solaire were to go against Tactical Throwers, that would be another story to watch as well. That would typically catch us all off guard, and it
Mhm.
would be a state and matter of, oh, this team can do it. Any team can do it. And Epitomes, what do you know about these teams?
Well, tactical throwers and dart monkeys have both been around for quite some time, but dart monkeys have definitely made a huge name for themselves, like you said, being one of the only free agent teams to make it into the second game changers of this year, and
Mhm.
also the only free agent team to make it into the finals, the playoffs of the game changers previously, the first one of this year. So, I mean, as free agents, they have definitely gone through a lot. But the fact is that some of them have actually split up. They've kept 3 core members, but the other 2 they are trialing. So this is going to be a little bit of a mystery Dart Monkeys for us. Like it's a newer version of the team.
Absolutely. And Gompers, if you were one of the players on the team,
Yeah.
is there a specific player that stands out to you?
A specific player that stands out, I guess I'd say more so probably if I were to go on the side of Dart Monkey's Grimoire. I mean, they're always going to be the one that you can rely on to top frag and get those clutches through. I think Grimoire too doesn't get a lot of recognition, even though they are there. They're very, very mechanically skilled. They're always going to be the person, once again, like I said, that you can rely on. So that's something that you really want in your team. On the side of tactical throwers, you want to watch out for probably Satyr. I think Satyr, it doesn't get talked about too much, but it's just both of these teams in general have so many good players that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be, I guess, the really, really big impact types of players. But I'm excited to see who kind of catches my eye this time.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the matches that we will be seeing today. And I do believe that it will be Dart Monkey versus Tactical Throwers. And now we're going to be taking a look at the picks and bans here: Fracture, Ascent, and Haven. Anything that surprises you at all? Let's start off.
Well, I think that Fracture as a first map is definitely a really edgy pick. I would say most players I think would prefer Ascent Bind and Haven, which was Bind was apparently banned twice. But Fracture being a first map, that is a really bold move for Dart Monkeys to actually actively choose it rather than leaving it as a decider. Because while it is a map that benefits a lot from the team play, it also can be a little bit dicey, especially with the fact that when you split each site, you have to go from opposite sides of the map. And I feel like that can get a lot of players really messed up.
Absolutely. And how about you, Gompers? What are you thinking here? What type of agents can we see?
Uh, Agent wise, I mean, pretty much the metas that are typically going through, like Fracture, you of course would probably have a breach withstanding and quite possibly that chamber, especially going over towards Ascent, the chamber, right? The jet, the just basically everything normal, right? The Killjoy. It's just typical types of agents, but Fracture, no surprise to me. I mean, the Dart Monkeys have a great win percentage on that map coming in within these 3 months, and not to mention, of course, tactical throwers. It is somewhat of an unknown map, so just testing the waters there for Dart Monkeys.
And I do believe as we're headed into semifinals, the
Mm-hmm. Let's go, Epitome. We get to see the map of Fracture and what's gonna happen here. Yeah, but actually something that I wanted to talk about was the neon, right? And I saw a lot of neon in Dart Monkeys compositions before, and so this doesn't surprise me at all. And if it does to you guys will see why it doesn't surprise you as much, because they're very, very comfortable with this composition.
Yeah, I definitely think that Neon coming out is going to bring something new. Obviously, though, Neon, I feel like the skill ceiling of using that agent is a little bit higher than the Raze, because with Raze, every single piece of utility is going to net you info, help you clear out corners, and even give a little bit of those ticks onto your ACS, right? So tactical throwers, they definitely have that Raze who can make these really explosive entries and
Absolutely.
clear out a lot of corners on both of these sites, while Neon kind of has to face check things, rely on the team a little bit more. But they've also made space. Instead of the Sage on Dart Monkeys, they have a extra initiator in that Fade.
Yeah, but this is an interesting dynamic. Dart Monkeys actually like to commit to a full push a lot of the time on those pistol rounds, so this isn't the most surprising thing that we've seen. I think this works out very well and on par with their types of playstyle. Very aggressive on the defense, working their way around towards B.
Already going through arcade. Dart Monkeys, though, they are going for a full 5-player Frank Lamar. Already able to find one, but Kurosu going to use the fast lane in order to get themselves in. And now, as Spike is going down, this retake is happening 4v5.
Already manages to find one, so already in the 3v2 scenario, Throwers trying their best to find more. And now you're left with Dart Monkeys having the breach, having the chamber to fight back. Will they do enough? Absolutely.
And nicely done on the retake using that utility. And it's really nice to have that Neon because of the controller capabilities, the ability to block off certain angles, not wanting the enemy team to aggress through it. So instead of having to expend the smokes from Grimoire, since Brim doesn't have those recharging smokes, you kind of have to make sure you use them very well. So using Kurosu's fast lane to supplement that is really smart for them to retake that site. And now Dart Monkeys, they have that buy up. It seems like they're going to play a little bit more defaulty this time. Doesn't look like they're going to go for that aggressive push. And it definitely took tactical throwers off guard on that first round.
Yeah.
So let's see. Tactical throwers looks like they're going to leave that chamber of work and instead look towards Zish this time.
Yeah, problems meet. Ends here in Dish. It's Autumn left alone, and a push that comes very, very slowly here for Tac Throwers.
It's definitely coming a lot slower pace than we saw from the last round. I think they're really relying on Satyr to get this first pick. That Stinger getting a lot of value in recent times, but now just waiting for the Sky Smokes to come down. They're going to run in onto the site. Kurosu anchored in A main though. Ooh, nice splash coming through to take down that player.
That was a beautiful start. Tac Throwers and Dart Monkeys pretty much equal in players here, and the most unfortunate thing for Tac Throwers is fact that they don't have much to work with, but Satyr managing to get themselves a Stinger even with the buff. It looks good. And a rotation over towards B. So they catch on here for Dart Monkeys. They might actually be able to meet ends.
It seems like they're going for the fast rotation. They're trying to cut them off at the knees, and that aftershock is actually going to delay. But Grimoire, that's huge, Gompers.
Okay. It's over within a matter of seconds. Grimoire closes things out. Of course, that being the buy round. So it works out on par with what we would have thought.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty much how we expected it to go. Tech Throwers able to do a bit of economic damage, so that's pretty nice on their part to be able to get some guns out of the hands, make sure that some of them are sticking to those ghosts, and Autumn going to rebuy back into the Stinger last of all, but it seems like it's not going to make a huge difference. However, Tactical Throwers this time, they're going onto the opposite sides of the map. They're looking for a good split here onto that B site. Oh, what? What?
Ooh.
Huh?
I'm wondering what this is. I guess more so to just close off a possible flank. With Grimoire already working around the back. A nice, beautiful flash coming through. And once again, Grimoire coming right on par with what I talked about before. They always just, they're just always there to take the frags. Always there to make sure that they can at least take one more round.
Ooh. And now trying to go in through underpass. But I mean, that was really nicely done from Grimoire to just cut off the fact that they can't rotate around because they're using that incendiary molly, and then Grimoire just runs up onto them. But now look at this engagement, this positioning. Autumn's trying to distract, and Grimoire goes for the swing. And what? And that was an ace, a bonus round ace.
It's the Stinger. It literally is the Stinger. I know a lot of people talked about the fact that it didn't even need a buff.
Yeah,
and,
they didn't.
It got it regardless. I think it's Ash, right? Like, Ash, listen, she will play with a Stinger 24/7.
Yeah.
She knew. She could read into the future.
She knew something we didn't.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. And now going to the next round, a Stinger round ace. I mean, that's just phenomenal for Dart Monkeys, especially on the defense now. But it seems like Tactical Throwers, despite their eco, they want to go aggressive here on A. They haven't cleared out drop, and that flash actually flashes Satyr, so that's going to delay for a little bit, but they're just going to push forward.
Yeah, but EOS having the wall there is going to push them back for Dart Monkeys, so they have to stall for time, waiting for Avery to get the flank along. They hear something. Satyr feeling suspicious. Not even peek just yet. No, some stall out. So this is good. There's no potential just yet for Dart Monkeys. Oh, never mind.
Okay. You know, why do we even buy guns in this game? Just buy the Stinger.
Will the Stinger be enough? Nope. It's not for Avery, but it's okay. A refrag for Juna. And a stun out on the site. This is the initiation that we needed. Nobody's going to protect the EOS on their way to try to get the spike down. But it's not over. Dart Monkeys just continuously take these players out, put so much pressure on it. It doesn't even matter if they put a wall.
Yeah, I mean, this Sage, I feel like Sage can get so much value on the offense, right? But when you're trying to wall off these really key angles like drop, since you want to 5-man a main instead of sending a few players drop and splitting the site, you have to kind of use that wall because you haven't cleared satellite, you don't know what's there. And you could also use it somewhere near ropes. You can use it in defender's spawn to make sure they don't have the rotations coming in, but they wanted to play aggressive there. And unfortunately, I just don't think it's getting enough value because they're not clearing drop and that barrier orb doesn't solidify until a few seconds in. You kind of have to just gamble that no one's going to destroy it immediately, and every single time there's always been someone there, so it just doesn't get the value.
And value is a really important aspect of the game, but overall it's grim 10-2. And it's ironic. We talk about Grimoire, we put them on this pedestal and they continue to impress. And coming into this, right, you can already see this is a new roster. Grimoire's definitely feeling themselves. I feel like they're flourishing a little bit more with this roster as well because their playstyle can actually come through on a map like Fracture. And maybe this is why they have an 82% win rate on Fracture within the past 3 months. This could most definitely be it. But it makes sense as to why.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you do play with the same roster for a really long time, doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. That gameplay can feel a little stale, and then you change a few things around, and as soon as that roster starts gelling, then you kind of see a lot of new, fresh plays
Yeah.
come out from this team. And now it seems like they want to go for that same kind of push. Well, they're all 5 players just stacked in their spawn, but it doesn't seem like they've decided where they want to go. A site seeming a little bit more accessible. And looking at the way Dart Monkeys plays, usually they have both of the players, all of their players actually stacked to one side of the map except for that chamber.
Yeah.
So they're usually heavily trying to play for control of Dish and Arcade. Now initiation starting on this A site.
Yeah, and they're very, very heavy on the control, like you said. Dart Monkeys always want to push out forward, which is why we saw some of that default actually happen for tac throwers in the beginning there. Just trying to wait around and listen. But yeah, I think this rotation might work out well, but listening to that, you can already tell the chamber knows exactly where these players are. And they just gotta wait around. Oh.
Ooh. Goes on their own.
Yeah. I'd be scared to see this. Summer peeks around. Kurosu having some of that backup, and the reinforcement is great. Dart Monkeys managed to bring themselves together once more. It's up to Seder, and we know Seder can handle themselves, but will they be able to in a 1v3? Absolutely not. It's Autumn taking things back. And a 5-0 for Dart Monkeys.
Dart Monkeys, they seem to be charging ahead, and this is even a buy round for tac throwers, and I feel like at this point it might be a good time for them to take a tac time out instead of tactical throwing, since they are running low on economy and they're getting into this pattern of buying and then saving. They have these 2 ultimates available. They used the showstopper in the last round. It still doesn't net them a round win. Dart Monkeys, however, don't have any ultimates on board because they use them so liberally, and it seems to work out for them. Tactile throwers, they have that resurrection and they have the rolling thunder, and now this is a pretty fractured buy for them, but that rolling thunder, they really need to rely on it since Dart Monkeys are so good at finding ways into the site on the retakes, and they almost never lose any bodies during these takes. Kurosu might be the first to fall though, and right as I say that, Autumn trades that back.
Yeah, 2 really nice picks for the opening. Eos has the resurrection, so it could still come forth. Summertime, knowing this resurrection is out there, is going to try to allow Autumn to get that aggression forward. But it's a 2k there for Autumn and nothing else. I mean, a 2k there for Summertime. Absolutely nothing else, but there's more. A 2v1 and a very nice molly from Grim. So, again, it's almost impossible. The really hard aggro peeks through from Dart Monkeys continue to push tac throws back.
And tac throwers, they are now back on a full save. It's just sheriffs and stingers.
Yeah.
Maybe the stingers can get something done. I feel like the closest rounds that we've had between these 2 teams, stingers were involved in some way, shape, or form. But it looks like Kurosu is going to actually be taking out the overdrive with the help of a possible shorty in the hands, despite just overflowing in economy. Summertime is going to have this really early initiation. Oh, concusses himself with the relay bolts. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Kurosu. We're just going to keep expecting this. Because tac throwers, the way that they're playing, they can't do anything about the constant aggression. The only thing that can happen is hit your shots. Kaya finds one. But there's a lot more to go through. It's a 3v4. Dart Monkeys waiting on the extremities.
Yeah, they're trying to get a pinch in 2 Gompers, and I feel like there's not really a lot of places for them to go, except silently across the rope.
Yeah.
They do have that trademark in Dish, but on Arcade side, Dart Monkeys is pretty vulnerable. I like this call.
This is actually very smart, yeah, from tac throwers. You wouldn't expect that they'd go through rope, and you can already tell that Dart Monkeys didn't. Trying to get a rotation over to both A and B.
Ooh, but Grimoire. Not gonna go for it, but that was such a good position. If they didn't read into it, that was scary for a second for tactical throwers.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, 30 seconds. 30 health for Kaya, ironically. But still, doesn't matter the amount of health you have when you have at least a tour de force to play with. Avery finds one of their own, and it's Seder going down. So the duelist down, and so is everybody else. In a flash, it's once again Dart Monkeys taking another point.
Yeah, that was not surprising for me at all since Tactical Throwers, that was their save. And I think Dart Monkeys knew that. That's why they let Kurosu go so aggressive with the overdrive, trying to get that early pick and early aggression. I think there was just like maybe a little bit of an oopsie, not even a misplay. It's just how Neon's relay bolts work. That delayed that push a little bit, but right after that, Summertime put in another flash point just right through the wall, really high. It flashed the entire team, allowed Kurosu that free aggression without being fear of being picked off, but that second flash didn't quite connect, so when Kurosu goes for the repeak outside the smoke, it doesn't go as well there, but Dart Monkeys, they still secure another round. Tackle Throwers still not using their tack pause into this half, and I feel like their attacking half should be their stronger one, considering the fact that they should be able to get into these sites when Dart Monkeys is supposed to be more spread out as a defensive team.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing here for Tack Throwers is that the only way to play against a team as this aggressive is to not allow them to do this, because this is where they thrive. Look at that, a 1v1, Kurosu taking on Starry. And if you give them these opportunities, you give them the opportunity to abuse all the space that they have, they're going to continue to do so. So I think the aggression should come out for Tactical Throwers, but they're not allowing it to happen. Kaya actually trying to clutch things back, so making a 5v3. Dart Monkeys, I mean, now limiting numbers.
Ooh, Tactical Throwers. They have such a good advantage now. They have to check the corner, and it works. Grimoire finally goes down, and Avery's going to answer with the Operator. But still a 2v4 situation. Operator in a retake is tough. One kill, maybe Nightfall available, though.
Stalling for some time, trying to use their util as diligently as they can for Tack Throwers. At least having the breach is
Whoa.
great, but Avery takes out Juna. 3 players surrounding down in towers. There's the first 2 more. Avery doesn't know. Not fully aware, but it's okay. A spray down there from EOS, and it's up on the board as Tack Throwers.
So close as well. The Nightfall expended Dart Monkeys. Unfortunately, they're going to miss that ultimate going into the next round, and no one else is even close. But Tack Throwers, that early round, so well played by them in order to get that player advantage, and they need to continue that into the next few rounds and maybe give them the chance, a fighting chance on the defense, because Dart Monkeys, I feel like their team composition really has no right to be this good on the defense, when the fact is they have Kurosu on the Neon, and I find that Neon is usually a huge struggle agent, especially on the defense. And Tack Throwers, on the other hand, they have Raze, they have a double controller, so they should be really doing really well on the defense, but they need to get a few rounds in on the offense so they don't have to struggle so much once they get there. Ooh.
Pushing up down in towers, no control. The only control is going to be that stun Grimoire by themselves in the middle of sight, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be a 3K to their name. An ultimate down. Quite possibly, no, just waiting. EOS, very aware of the situation going outside of towers. Juna is breaking the box, so it leaves just 1, and it's over.
Another ace.
In a matter of seconds. Yeah, if Grim had gotten that, it would have been a second ace for Grimoire, but still, just the fact that Grim is fracking out like this is insane.
On a controller as well, this is something you would expect from maybe Kurosu, or on an initiator even, because you have that utility to just help yourself out and supplement a lot of the angles, so you can go for the flashes and then the peaks. But no, Grimoire has nothing but smoke, Somali, and a stim beacon, and maybe the stim beacon is helping out a little bit, but it's just the positioning. The way that she plays around her util is so incredibly powerful and potent, and Tactical Throwers, it seems like they're just like walking into a brick wall. Oh gosh, Avery, that first shot onto Satyr as well, and now they lose their duelist. They have no one to go for the double satchels to make that space into the sights, and they need to play so slow, and the fact that they don't have a lot of control over this map either means the Dart Monkeys are free to just aggress into A main as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see what Tack Throwers' plan is here. And it's interesting because they haven't tried anything other than a very slow type of calculated push. Sometimes you need to just go wild with it, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that maybe if they use some util early in the round, they could really get themselves in a good spot. But now they're using their util though. They're using a lot of breaches kit to try and get themselves in, but they're not really capitalizing off of it. They push them out of position. Ooh, Juniper, there's the capitalization we've been looking for.
Yeah, capitalization doesn't stop here for Dark Monkeys either. But still 30 seconds left. The spike hasn't been planted as of yet, but it is probably never going to be planted as Juna gets completely mauled down by Kurosu. And yeah, it's difficult, as we can probably tell here. The spike down, 2 players having mostly a lot of control over there. And sorry, just trying to get some of these exit frags before the round stops.
Kurosu might be just walking into Starry's crosshairs, though. Ooh, the shot misses, and Kurosu's still alive. Grimoire's waiting. And, I mean, Dart Monkeys, they have 9 now tactical throwers. Let's see if they can get the next 2, because they only got them left, and they have a little bit of money left in the bank for this buy. But this is an absolutely crucial round, then, because if they can't win the last round in the half, they're looking at double digits once they go onto that defense. So, good call here to go onto that timeout. I think a lot of the times they're hesitant to use that util to get onto site because we see Dart Monkeys playing really aggressive on the defense for control over usually just any extremity of the map, just looking for that control over the orbs since they use those ultimates so liberally. And I think that if they do dump on util on the site, then actually might just not get any value because there's no one there to meet it. Dart Monkeys play retake clinically.
It's unfortunate the way that things are going through, but I'm hoping with this timeout that maybe you know, at least some type of redemption arc will come through, because like you said, anything past those double-digit numbers is difficult to get past. You know, you go 10 and whatever, 10-2, you go anything above that 9-3 mark, you are setting yourself for some of that failure. Of course you can come back, but the odds of that are very, very slim, and to put yourself in a position like that is almost impossible to get out of. So they definitely need to be able to get this 9-3.
Yeah, that is just such a hard scoreline as well. 9-1 right now, and their economy is not in the greatest of places, and Kurosu is about to run you down. Oh!
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's a great pick, actually, mostly. Oh, definitely, but never mind. The Rolling Thunder comes through. Satyr actually manages to stall out some of that time. There comes the Prowler, still having a paint shell. He's going to throw it back to push these players all the way back over towards that B site. But still. Okay.
Oh! What?
That was a beautiful shot from Juna. That opened things up a lot. Never-ending story. It's like you stop and then somebody else peeks, and it just never stops. The frags continue.
Oh, are they trying to get this plant down? I can't tell. Avery. Now looking for 2. Oh! Does you know there's a 3rd, though? Actually, a 4th and a 5th. I don't know. But nice shot there from Avery. Did they expect another one? They do! They turn around for the 4K. What? What was that? Those first 2 picks, just beautiful. Chef's kiss. And the awareness as well to turn around.
And that was such a big save as well. Because Tactors had the lead. They actually could have taken that round if it wasn't for Avery. So Avery bringing that like win condition within that last round is big. Leading Dart Monkeys into that 10-1 scoreline. Possibly that 10-2 if they manage 11-1, or 10-2 if Tactors manage to win this one out. But it doesn't matter. They push themselves past their limits. And now, of course, Tactors are in a dangerous position.
That works.
Already double digits. Tac throwers on a save. This is definitely not what they wanted, and they just look a little shell-shocked right now. Sitting in their spawn. Can't find a word for a way in, edgewise. Just can't get their foot in the door.
No, but the foot coming through very, very diligently. Juna peeking out in a very nice fashion, so they knew they had to wide swing that one to take the fight. Still some damage done there.
Satyr now walking back towards that A site. They had a little bit of a scuffle over on B, and now are looking towards A. But I mean, this is so tough.
Nice.
Ooh, oh my god, wait, Kurosu just... What? They just ran away and it didn't do anything.
Oh no, I guess this is the benefits of the Neon as well. Like, you can literally run away from any of the breach util that's coming your way. Still an op in hand, they might actually be able to take something, and if they manage to, things are gonna look grim for tactical throwers. There comes the first
Oh,
one.
no
We're gonna be able
way.
to see the ultimate come out. Nice from Kurosu, but a lot more through. And over. It pretty much is over, because very, very low from Juna. You could basically just kind of snap your fingers and Juna would completely fall over. Yeah, with a peek over here, it pretty much is done. 11-1. 11-1.
That is just insane scoreline on the defense. Like, you just have Kurosu. You don't have the double sentinel. You have Neon, which is probably one of the worst agents to have on the defense, and they supplement that by going aggressive every single round, and tactical throwers don't have an answer to that aggression. They are always just waiting for the aggression, but when they do wait for it, Dart Monkeys don't bite. And when they aren't waiting for it, Dart Monkeys are all of a sudden all in their faces with so many flashes, stuns, utility, crowd control, everything that you can think of. And then now on the defense, tactical throwers, they do have a little bit of an advantage in terms of agent composition. They have that raise that can gather some info for you. They have the Sage denying space and the slows as well from both Chamber and Sage to try and slow down, I mean, specifically Kurosu, because I think a slow is just the nail in the coffin of any Neon. But now Kurosu's already in Sands.
And this is the last round needed for tech throwers. The reason why this is so dangerous is because this is the semi-final matchup. If they lose this one, the second map is going to look dangerous. Seder finding their first one finally for tech throwers. Maybe they can put themselves back on before summertime, having the flash to be able to take out EOS, but it doesn't matter what happens here. Tack throwers in a 3v2 situation. They manage to bring the numbers up, but we know how Autumn is. They don't miss their shot. Take with 2v2.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
This is such an open plant. Autumn has to come in. It's papped. What? Oh! That was dicey.
Match point.
First map. I think the first have never.
Yeah, this is just such. They look worse for wear for sure. And now they're just buying full singer lineup. They have no choice. And I mean, this is really tough because your entire team is basically fragging under Dart Monkey's bottom fragger, and it's not all about the kills, but you also just need to be able to clear out that space for your team, even when you're focused on objective. Oh, a little bit of a miss on the fast lane, but oh, that's not gonna matter.
Having summer, it's not. Be that win. Order summer.
Standing.
Get. Say things. So even though this is great, whatever taxers would so well, they still stop.
Well, tactical throwers, at least that second round on the board, but they still have to buy up, continuing. They want to get that next little bit. Seder is able to buy into the Vandal, so just a little bit more firepower. I mean, honestly, they could have just kept the Stingers. It wouldn't have been that bad of a choice, but instead they're going to go for a few rifles. They're going to have a Bulldog and a Vandal in the hands of their players, while Dart Monkeys stick to the frenzies, and now they're a little stalled out. They've never seen their aggression be stopped by tactical throwers in the way that it has, and maybe it's a little bit owed to the Stingers, but now Barrier Orb very far into A main, denying a lot of space here. Autumn going to go ahead and break all of those wedges just to make sure they're able to see clearly. No one's hiding in any corners.
No, two players on the opposite sides of each other. Tack throwers having majority of their players surrounding A, due to the fact that that was pretty much Dart Monkey's comfort pick. Going over on this attacking side, but they've went one-on-one so far, A and B. They could hit wherever they please.
Well, free orb at the very least for summertime. Going back towards A main to grab another orb, rolling thunder, and bing, bang, boom. They get themselves in.
this is a slow
30
approach,
seconds
which
left.
interesting, coming from a very, very aggressive team. Kurosu knowing they have to push themselves up forward and close to be able to get these picks down. But tack throwers managing to take things back once more. And a 12-3, that is possible. If Summertime can, yeah, pretty much going down. So June up with the 3K, and of course 3 points on the board for tack.
Unsurprising for Dart Monkeys to be able to get for them to be unable to get a word in, but however they are going to be able to buy into this round. Tactical throwers are doing the same with 4 Vandals and a single Bulldog, complete full shield, and Satyr having that showstopper available. And on the other side, it's just the Rolling Thunder for them, but they need to find an effective way to use it somehow and get themselves into the site, which is going to be really tough, especially with a little bit of aggression coming out here on A, but it's going to be a drop push actually, and we haven't seen this before from Dart Monkeys, only having 3 rounds under their belt in the offense so far. But that trademark actually just slows them down and encourages them to completely back off.
Yeah, pushing down inside of all the way to the back, trying to find an entry point. Summertime has the ult, so this would be a very, very big play to come through if they can use that, not to mention the Prowler to be able to clear some of the site. So I'd be scared if I were attack throwers, maybe play or retake.
Also using that fast lane, they're actually denying it a little bit, and now they're going to use the Rolling Thunder to try to get themselves in. What is happening with this scuffle? Sorry, what?
I think I'd be a little bit more surprised if, yeah, Dart Monkeys managed to lose this one. They had an ultimate, they used it up. 2 players down
30
inside of
seconds
CT
left.
side. And if Avery peeks this one, it's going to be a 1v2. Are they lined up for it? No, Kaya's there. Avery sees it. Maybe the first pick comes down, and it was a hit! That could have been taken out. Juno with 12 health. Oh my gosh.
That was definitely too close for comfort. They have the money to buy back in, except for Starry, who's going to actually stick with the Judge, unless teammate gets a buy up for them. Not sure what's going to happen with that economy, but Dart Monkeys, they're at a loss once again, and that was on their buy round with an ultimate used. Avery 1 away from the Tour de Force, looking to collect maybe an alt orb and get themselves that ultimate autumn possible for the Nightfall as well. Maybe even an overdrive for Kurosu. That Stinger in hand, looking to go drop through the ropes, through sands, all the way into defender spawn. Ooh.
Nice TP out from Kaya. Still saves their lives, at least for a little while. Themselves quite possibly to get more. Kurosu, good positioning. Down within the smoke. The smoke dissipates, so maybe if they follow through with the Prowler, beautiful peek out from Dart Monkey. Still, though, more to come. Satyr not being able to get the shots down. And it's up to tack throwers to take things back, but in a 2v2 situation with EOS, low enough to be taken out in a matter of seconds. Things looking dire right now. Summertime right behind the wall. If they spray through, they could take it out. EOS doesn't know this yet. One in CT. And as they walk up, Summertime with the stun. Beautiful placement. There's only one more left, and it's Kaya. But there it is, the information given. The tether completely tied and attached, and it's over. With Dart Monkeys having such good util to close things.
And that was just such a strong ultimate, being able to just take down that health advantage, and all of a sudden you have a player who's already so low at 1 HP, and even though we have Summertime with a Sheriff on the top site, it doesn't matter because just one hit and they're gone. And that was just so nicely played from Dart Monkeys. You can see why it's their map pick as well, since they just played that phenomenally. It was so beautiful the way that they used their util and the calling as well. And Tactical Throwers, it wasn't their map pick. They let that one go, but the second one, maybe they can make that one closer. Maybe they can take us to a map 3, or maybe Dart Monkeys can take it 2-0.
I think Tacther is the next map. They look a lot better. The map pick of Fracture was
Yeah.
definitely a very dangerous one, especially since once again it was an unknown for tac throwers. They had a 50% win rate. It was a one-on-one, so they've only necessarily played 2 maps, so they lost 1-1-1. So this map definitely not looking like the pick that they would actually prefer to choose over. But Dart Monkey's definitely their most comfortable map for sure. I mean, they love pushing out, and Fracture is the best map to do that. So I think it gave them a lot of good time to do so. But of course, we actually have our second game coming up, and we might actually be able to see if tac throwers can take things back, or if Dart Monkeys are going to continue their reign of terror. But we will be able to see after this break.
I've been flipping pages since I could remember. That told me I had to be within the lines of 2 degrees and 9 to 5. And I've been working after work since last September. Working after work, yeah. I stay up late on the weekdays. I never tell when we say. I never wanna look back and wish I could have been. I've never got no regret. The hours I've been putting in, so take a chance on faith. Your mind's a boundless place. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance. I never wanna look back. Take a chance, take a chance on faith. Take a chance on faith. I never wanna look back. Take a chance on faith. So take a chance. Take a chance on faith. It's too late now. It's something I never wanna say. I stand my ground. I need to be who I'm meant to be. Yeah, I don't see it any other way. I know I gotta keep the faith. I never wanna look back and wish I could have been. I've never got no regret. The hours I've been putting in, so take a chance on faith. Your mind's a boundless place. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance. I never wanna look back. Take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance. Take a chance on faith. I never wanna look back. Take a chance on faith. So take a chance. Take a chance on faith. They said, don't fall. Don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run. Don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you